Tonight's Chabura. Mark Liebman. Okay. Tonight's Chabura is sponsored by the Zangerian Mishpacha, and it's sponsored Le'iloi Nishmas Tzvi ben Avram Yehuda. The words of the Torah should be a source La'aliyas Nishmaso. Okay. So we got up to before Yontif, we got up to the Gemara that starts dealing with who's puzzle and who's kosher. Basically, all we had so far is Banim and Avos. We know that there's a familiar psul and invalidation of people that are fathers and sons. What about other relatives being called up for kibudim and being considered kosher edim? So the Gemara on Chav Chesem et Aleph says as follows. It's the middle. It's where the gimel of the Mesaris Hashas is. That's the first word of the line. Yeah, Mishpad Hashava L'Kulchem. That's the last thing we did. So the Gemara starts off in the middle of the line. Amar Rav. Rav stated a few psulim, and the Gemara learns halachos, and this is Nogea, this is Mamish going to create Psak and Shulchan Aruch. There's one simon, everybody said, there's one Gemara that talks about all these cases. Who's puzzle, who's kosher, and it's our Gemara. How you know which relatives are puzzle and kosher, it's all from our Sugya. Amarav. Achi Abba, the brother of my father, lo yadli. He can't be made for me. Right? Hu ubno v'chosno. Basically, my uncle can't be made for me. Right? So the way we develop that is that me to my father is a Rishon B'Rishon, and me to my uncle is my father's brother, so that's a Rishon B'Sheni. So Rishon B'Sheni is puzzle. But the Mishnah said, the Rav said, not only is he puzzle to me, but his son is puzzle to me, which makes what? My first cousin also puzzle Eidus for me. That's what's called the Sheni B'Sheni. And also his son-in-law. Why is his son-in-law? Because through his daughter, so then you say Balki Ishto, that they're the same. Fine. Af Ani, also in the reverse. Loy lo, I can't testify for him. Ani ubni v'chosni. Not only me, but also my son and my son-in-law. So the Gemara asks Akasha, really? V'amai? Havale shlishi b'rishon. Gemara says, I understand shlishi b'rishon b'sheni. I understand sheni b'sheni. But now you're saying your son can't be made for his what? For his great uncle? That is a Rishon B'Shlishi. And the Gemara says, Va'anan Sheni B'Sheni Tanan. In the Mishnah we learned about a first cousin, a Sheni B'Sheni. Sheni B'Rishon Tanan. Shlishi B'Rishon Loi Tanan. So the Gemara is naming on right now. The Gemara is assuming Shlishi B'Rishon should be kosher. And it's challenging Rav, about this din of a Shlishi B'Rishon. That it's not found in the Mishnah. Again, let's just contemplate for a second. If this would be the case, so we have to see how we paskin. But according to what the Gemara is suggesting right now, what would that happen? What would that make in terms of our title? That would make an Elter Zaida kosher. Why do I say an Elter Zaida? Because me and my son are a Rishon B'Rishon. Okay? Me and my grandfather are a Rishon B'Sheni. So me and my Elta Zaida would be a Rishon B'Shlishi. So that is the debate, and the same thing would be true in terms of, instead of going up, going to the side in terms of a great uncle. Good. So the Gemara says, so the Gemara says, no. Chosno diktani b'masnisin, you misunderstood the Mishnah. That which the Gemara said, chosno, it meant chosan bno. It meant the chosan of your son. So if it meant chosan bno, so then what is that? That's one more generation. So then that was the makar for Shlisha B'Rishon. That's what the Gemara is saying. So the Gemara says if it's telling you Shlisha B'Rishon, if that's what it's telling you, so the Gemara says V'lisnei ben b'no. So why don't you just teach it L'gabi a straight descendant? What do you have to teach it L'gabi chasno? And we have to get all confused. Whose chasen? Is it actually your son-in-law, or is it the son-in-law of your son? Why are you being all confusing? So the Gemara says, no, milsa agavur kamashalon. The Gemara was teaching you a chiddush. The Baal Ishto. I didn't want to only tell you this halach of Shlisha Berishon by a direct descendant. I wanted to tell you an added chiddush that even by a Shlisha Berishon with a Baal Ishto, with a marital relationship, that also is possible. So okay, so the Mishnah says, so the Gemara says now, it's not against our Mishnah, and right now the Gemara is assuming Shlisha Berishon would be possible. So the Gemara says, but it still can't be true. But it can't be true because Rabbi Chia told us that there are 8 main relationships that branch out with hu ubno v'chasno. That's going to be 8 times 3, which is going to be what? 24 psulim. And if you're going to add in shlisha berishons, right? You're going to have to add in more. Hani tlosin v'tartin. Then it's going to be 24 plus 8, which is going to be what? 32. But he only said 24, so it's not true. So the Gemara backs out. You're right. The Mishnah never said shlisha berishon is possible. The Mishnah was talking about his chasan, not chasan b'no, and there is no case in the Mishnah. I back out from what I just said. It's not speaking about the next generation, and it did not refer to chasan b'no. So the Gemara says, El oilam chasno mamish. V'amai karei chasan b'no. So the Gemara says, so why did he call it chasan b'no? Kaven de me'alma ka'asi kedor achedami. Right? Since a chasan is, even though it's my chasan, it's not chasan b'no, but it's really chasno, but still Rav said, we view every chasan as, since he's coming from outside, so he's considered like he's one more generation removed. So says Rav, that is an example of a shlishi berishon through a chasan. So the Gemara says, but wait a second. So if you're going to say every chasan is kedor acher dami, so then what? Ihachi havale shlishi b'sheni. So then wait a second. So look at Rashi. Ihachi. Look at Rashi in the first wide line. The chasan nami kedor acher dami. If Rav is convinced that anytime you have a son-in-law, since he's coming from not a direct relationship, but he's coming from outside, so he's considered like one more door, and therefore that's a raya that what? Shlishi berishon is going to be puzzle. Uktani masnisen chasan achi abba puzzle li havale shlishi puzzle lahaid b'sheni. Again, the Mishnah says a chasan achi abba is puzzle li. Again, achi abba, my uncle, is puzzle li. But it doesn't only say achi abba. It says hu, ubno, v'chasno. Now Rav is telling us chasno is considered like another generation. It's considered like a dor acher. Okay, so let's work this out. So my uncle's son, to me, is a sheni b'sheni, right? That's my cousin, right? Chasno is what? One more door. A sheni b'shlishi. Sheni b'shlishi is kosher. No one says sheni b'shlishi is pasul. Frekting Marakasha, if you're going to say every chasan is kedor acher dami, so that's tantamount to saying that a sheni b'shlishi is pasul, and in Shulchan Aruch we kasher, we say that a sheni b'shlishi is kosher. That's not true. So ask the Gemara, even you Rav are moide that a sheni b'shlishi is pasul. It is kosher. I'm sorry. So how could you say that every chasan is kedor acher dami? So Gemara is just taking strikes at every statement of what Rav said in the first line, that achi abba is going to be puzzle to my son, which would ultimately mean that a shlishi berishon is puzzle. That can't be. Okay. So the Gemara says, you're right. El Rav, why did Rav puzzle a shlishi berishon? Again, how did Rav puzzle a shlishi berishon? Let's just remember, because he said, my son can't be made for my uncle. That's a great uncle. That's a shlishi berishon. Good. El Rav da'amar Reb Elazar. Rav held like Reb Elazar. Disanya Reb Elazar oimer. That Reb Elazar says, Kishem sha'achi abba lo yoedli. Reb Elazar said the following statement. Just like my uncle can't be testify for me, because what is that? That's a rishon b'sheni. Hu ubno v'chasno. Not only him, but also his son and his chasan. Right? Because that's a sheni b'sheni. Kach ben achi abba. So too the son of my uncle, who to me is what? Sheni b'sheni. Ben achi abba, lo yoed li, cannot testify for me. Okay, that's good, sheni b'sheni. Hu ubno v'chasno. Whoa. His son his chasan. Why? Vakati havale shlishi b'sheni v'rav achsher shlishi b'sheni. So the Gemara asks, why? His son is a shlishi b'sheni. I'm a sheni b'sheni to him. He's my first cousin. His son, what do you call his son in English? First cousin once removed, right? First cousin once removed is a shlishi b'sheni. So I'm a shlishi b'sheni. Everyone holds that that's kosher, right? That. So the Gemara asks, Rav, you yourself were machsher shlishi b'sheni. How could you be quoting Rabbi Lazar? Okay, very nice, Rabbi Lazar's apostles shlishi b'sheni, but you were machsher that. So the Gemara says you're right. Rav savar lekavasi b'chada upaligole b'chada. Rav is maskim to Rabbi Lazar that what? A shlishi berishon is possible, and that's why Rav just said, my son can't be made for my uncle, his great uncle. That's a shlishi berishon. But Rav disagrees to Rabbi Lazar to say that what? My son can't be made for my cousin because that would be a shlishi b'sheni. That's too far. Rabbi Lazar is the one who was mechadish to us. No, my son can't be made for my cousin, which means Rabbi Lazar was of the opinion that shlishi b'sheni is possible. That's how we know Rabbi Lazar would hold alachas kama v'kama, a shlishi b'rishon is possible. If you hold a shlishi b'sheni is possible, so then alachas kama v'kama, shlishi b'rishon is possible. Rav says, your alachas kama v'kama, I'm masking to. Your shlishi b'rishon, I'm masking to. But your shlishi b'sheni, I'm not masking to.
I think he's saying even further. He's saying chatano, and then you're like,
well, chasano, we're going back on the answers before. We're not saying it's kedor acher. The Gemara rejected that. So now the Gemara is saying a new pshat. We're just based on Rabbi Lazar. And Chosin is exactly like Bno. You're right. If you would be in the first stages of the Gemara, then you would have even a bigger chiddush that it would be Revi. Yeah. So that's not the case, with the exception of the case of my Geirus, that we are machmir for all psulim. The Chazon Ish says just don't play games with psulim, at least lechatchila. Good. So then the Gemara ends off, and the Gemara says, my time of the Rav, the Amar Kra lo yumsu avos salbonim, ubonim l'rabos dor acher. So what's the source? Rav says, I'll tell you why. The pasuk adds in a vav, ubonim. So ubonim, avos ubonim is what? Is rishon b'rishon and rishon b'sheni. So how do you know ubonim, right? Because how do you know it's rishon b'sheni? Because avos ubonim is not av uben, right? Avos ubonim means also my brother, and also my father's brother. So that means you have, in the pasuk, you have a nephew. So that's a Rishon B'Sheni. You have Rishon B'Rishon and Rishon B'Sheni. Why do you have an added Vav? Zakt Rav, that's Rishon B'Shlishi. Oh, a Vav, that's Rishon B'Shlishi. Givaldik. What's Pshat in Rabbi Lazar? Rabbi Lazar, that even says what? Even a first cousin once removed, even a Shlishi B'Sheni? Where does he get that from? So the Gemara says, for Rabbi Lazar, Albonim Amar Achmana, Psule de Avos Shadi Abonim. What does that mean? It means, if I am puzzle to a Sheni B'Sheni, Psuli the Avis, so we're puzzle, right? Sheni B'Sheni, my first cousin, right? Take that Psul, says Rabbi Lazar, V'Shadi Abonim. So Memela, you're going to even have included in the pasuk Shlishi B'Sheni. Rabbi Lazar is not even quoted in Shulchan Aruch. This is not accepted la'alacha. Shaila that we have to discuss right now is, what about the Rishon B'Shlishi? What about Rav's din? What about the Elta Zaida? Was it tonight's Chabura for the Elta Zaida?
Yeah. My Elta Zaida?
Yeah.
Well, is that what's the difference in the Zaida? No, it's my Zaida.
It's your Zaida, okay. So no, that's
real, it's the Elta Zaida.
So we'll get to that in a second. Okay, good.
I'm still a little confused. So at the end of the day, who does Rob hold like? Which he's not holding Rabbi Lazar.
Right, he's not. He's holding his own drasha, half of Rabbi Lazar. He's masking to Rabbi Lazar a little bit.
Does Rob have to hold like a Tana here, or?
No, Rav can be his own. Rav. The Gemara says Rav Tanu Upalik. Rav. Yeah, exactly. In the end of the day, he diverts from. Good. So how do we paskin? So what's the din? So look at Rashi. El Rav Damer Karab Lazar. This is fascinating. I'm sorry. 1 second. Yeah. El Rav da Amar Karab Lazar. The 3 lines of the wide lines down. El Rav da Amar Karab Lazar. U'lo'olam chosan lav kador acher dami. Right. We're not saying our old interpretations. Rav da pasal shlish b'rishon. So why did Rav pasal invalidate a shlish b'rishon? Karab Lazar da Amar shlish b'sheni pasal. The Kol Sheken Shlishi Barishon, he was holding similar to Reb Lazar, that Pasal Shlishi Barishon, but went one step further and Pasal Shlishi B'Sheni. So he doesn't hold of him that far. Umihu, says Rashi. Less Hilchas HaKavaseh. We do not paskin like Rav. Why? Damrina and B'yesh Neichlin, because there's a Gemara in Bava Basra, the Shlishi Barishon kosher. The Hilchas HaKavaseh, the Rav mi the Basroi hava. What just happened with all these girsas? So if you look at the Masoras Hashas on that Dalid, it says the Shlishi B'Sheni kosher. The Hilchas HaKavaseh, the Rav, would be what? What does Rav hold, everybody say? Shlishi Barishon is puzzle. So that's why they changed it. The Shlishi B'Sheni is kosher. But that's not what Rav was saying. Right? There's a whole confusion here on how to read this Rashi. So let's look at that Gemara. Let's look. I copied the Gemara for us. The Gemara Baba Basra on Kuf Chav Ches. The Gemara says, by Shalach le Rab Abla Rab Yosef Bar Chama. The reason why this is in Baba Basra is because all these halachas are very nogei to the Gemaras over here also discuss mishpacha in a different context. It discusses all of Yerusha is in Yesh Neichlin, all the mishpachas in terms of Yerusha. So the Gemara says halacha shlisha b'sheni kosher. So like we just disproved Rebbe Lazar. We said we don't pass like Rebbe Lazar. Shlisha b'sheni is kosher. Rava Amar af berishon. Rava says no, af berishon. So Rebbe say maybe that's the girsa. The Hilchas HaKavaseh de Rava, right? And that would match up with this Gemara Bava Basra, because that's what Rava says in Bava Basra, right? Marbar of Ashi, Achsher, Ba'aba Da'aba. Marbar of Ashi was even Machsher who? A father's father. The less Hilchas Marbar of Ashi. And we don't paskin like Marbar of Ashi. So now look at the parish of the Rashbam in this Gemara in Bava Basra. Fascinating. Rava Amar Af Berishon. You see where it is? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 wide lines down. Rava Amar Af Berishon means Rava was Machsher Rishon B'Shlishi. This is the Gemara that's saying that Rishon B'Shlishi is kosher. Kigon Bno Shel Chanoch ben Ruvain, the son of Chanoch ben Ruvain, Meid l'Shimon Achi Ruvain. So he can be made for his great uncle, right? V'hachi il sechasa, Dr. Rashbam, and that's the psak la'alacha. Midamrunan l'kamon ma'isifu, umidapasik l'kamei v'les hilchasa kamar baravashi, mechlal de hilchasa miya karava. So we paskin like Rav. Good? So Rishon B'Shlishi is kosher. Ba'aba da'aba, listen to this. Sheyoyed aben la'avi aviv. Marbar Avashi wanted to say that now based on Shlisha B'Rishon, you can even be made for your grandfather. That far we don't go. We don't accept that. Kigon ben chanoich meid l'Ruvain, Tahainu Shlisha B'Rishon. But less hilchasa Marbar Avashi. Why? So there's one of two possibilities. So one possibility is because your grandfather is not what? What's pshat that the Gemara just said in Bava Basra, v'les hilchas kamar baravashi? Why is Mar baravashi wrong? Once you're accepting and you're going with the mahalach that the Rashbam is going with, that Rishon B'Shlishi is kosher, so why do you have to go to a great uncle? Why don't you go to a grandfather? So what's the answer, Rabbi say? Because the grandfather's not a Rishon B'Shlishi. That was Mar baravashi's mistake. It's a Rishon B'Sheni. So listen to what the Rashbam says. V'les hilchas kamar baravashi. De bnei banim u bnei banim ad elef doiris lo yoidu lavoseim de ben yerech avivu. So Mark said pshat in the Gemara Bava Basra is because why? Because since you're a Rishon B'Rishon to your father, so you're a Rishon B'Sheni to your grandfather. But it would come out according to Mark's pshat that what? to my great-grandfather, to my Elta Zaida, I'm a what? A Rishon B'Shlishi. And as long as I go with the psak of the Gemara that Rava said, and he's the Basrai, that what? Rishon B'Shlishi is kosher. So, not only is this relevant for my great-uncle, but also my Elta Zaida would be kosher to be called up as the 8th Kidushin at my wedding, or at Azriel's wedding. Would be a kosher 8, right? That would be the din. The Rashbam says, absolutely not. Rishon B'Sheni, Rishon B'Shlishi, all these halachas only go sideways. Zok the Heilige Rashbam. You're Elta Zeta, the family tree. As long as you're going straight up, B'nei Bonim, Areim, Kebonim, and it's all puzzle. It's all a Rishon B'Sheni. You don't deviate. Chidish Nifla. That's the way the Rashbam learned the Gemara. Meaning, he didn't learn the way Mark learned, which I think most Rishonim learn like Mark. Is that Mar Baravashi misunderstood. He said just the same way we go out with generations in terms of a great uncle, so that's also in terms of a grandfather. And he didn't realize that no, there's a familiar connection that they're a Rishon B'Rishon to your father, and Mamela that makes you only a Rishon B'Sheni. But in Achnami, you go the next door, it should be a Rishon B'Shlishi. Zok the Rashbam, no, you'll never have a direct descendant that you'll be able to be made because of B'nei Bonim, Areim, Kebonim. Because of B'nei Bonim, Areim, Kebonim. Fascinating that the Ma'arik, in his famous tshuva that's quoted in the Ramah, about whether or not a person is chayev to be Mechubad, his grandfather. So the Ma'arik, it's a fascinating tzushta, but he brings a raya from this Gemara, V'les hilchas Gemara Baravashi. So if you say that he's not going to be Pasal Eidis, so then the Ma'arik says that you're not chayav to be Mechubad anyways. I don't know why those two things have to be habaha. Like why can't you have a chiyuv kibud avim and not necessarily be Pasal Eidis in terms of those? But that he brought all family connections to be one parsha. Lamaisa, there's a raya that the Ramah has from Rashi al Torah. Rashi al Torah says that the pasuk in Vayishlach, I believe, that Yaakov was shoichet leElohei Aviv, right? It was leElohei Yitzchak v'lo leElohei Avram. So Rashi says because his father was still alive, and a person is chayev b'kavod Aviv yoser mikavod Avi Aviv. So a person is chayev in kavod Aviv yoser mikavod Avi Aviv. But the Ramah says medayik from Rashi. Okay, but there is a chiyuv of kibud of Avi Aviv. It's just he's chayev kavod in yoser when it comes to Aviv. So that's just in terms of the shaila of kibud av when it comes to grandparents. But Rabbi said this Rashbam and the other Rishonim, the way to learn our Gemara Bavasa, how we come out la'alacha, is going to be a major nafkamina legabe all the Elta Zaydas, whether or not we would say that the Doros continue in terms of Psula Edus, that you can say that it's a Rishon B'Shlishi or a Rishon B'Revi, whatever it would be, that you would not be puzzle anymore. Or do you say no? Anything that's a direct line would be puzzle. In Shulchan Aruch, this Rashbam is not quoted. We don't pass like the Rashbam. Although it's a nice idea, it's a nice vart, but it's good for family Torahs. But
Rishon in any of those situations.
Which one? In which?
Meaning the Gemara says Rishon is the father, Rishon is the son.
I'm a Rishon B'Rishon with my father.
So there's a Rishon
On the father and
first
son,
level. Okay.
yeah, and then it goes to my grandfather as a Rishon B'Sheni. Shaila is what happens next. So Rashbam says it stays like that, yeah.
But he's saying that there's no Rishon B'Sheni, it's Rishon B'Rishon all the way through.
Or it stays
it's
Rishon
Rishon
B'Sheni,
B'Sheni.
yeah, exactly. It just stays puzzle, yeah.
Is this, would the Rashbam be because of like some type of Shash Mashakar? Would it be worse because of his direct line?
I don't know. I don't think necessarily it's
I mean,
because
it's like me and
it sounds like he's basing it off of Bnei Banim Arein Kabanim, which by the way is a principle in Puruvu. You don't find Bnei Banim Arein Kabanim. It's a Gemara in Yevamos that talks about children that die, and then you have grandchildren from those children. So are you still yoy to the mitzvah of Puruvu? So even if, I think we once discussed this, even if we have grandchildren from those children, and the Gemara says there's a machlokes rishonim, what type of grandchildren, Rambam and Taisus, but those grandchildren can now like revive the children. That it's as if I still have those children to be mekayim the mitzvah of Puruvu. But the Rashbam is now extending this Bnei Banim Arein Kabanim to be all family halachas. That now you're viewed to be the children of your grandparents and great grandparents as well. You have this one other case. This is there's a Kesef Mishnah. The Kesef Mishnah is medayik from the Rambam that grandparents. The Rambam says that there's a chiyuv for grandparents of Talmud Torah, and the Kesef Mishnah writes that grandparent has a chiyuv to pay the malamed also, not only the parents. So I quoted this Kesef Mishnah exactly when it came to that whole hak, that this Kesef exactly right. When the whole hak is when the grandparents are going to the Pesach vacations, why don't you pay? Exactly right. So that was where that Kesef Mishnah came out. Okay, good, very good. Okay, so that was Rashi, and that's from the Gemara Bava Basra. But Rabbeinu Tam disagreed. Rabbeinu Tam thought that a Rishon B'Shlishi is actually possible, and let's see the bottom thesis back in Sanhedrin and Chav Ches and Aleph. Omer Rabbeinu Tam, no. Rabbeinu Tam says, I think we should paskin like Rav, because even though the Gemara Bava Basra says that, he has other rayas that seem to be mashma that a Shlishi B'Rishon is possible. Wow. And Rabbi said this is 2 days in Shulchan Aruch, whether or not a Rishon B'Shlishi is possible, and we're machmir on this. The Ramah says to be machmir, and the second day of Mechaber is to be Mekel. So Pashtus Sfardim would be Mekel on this because you have a day Rishon and a day Shniya. If I remember correctly, the day Rishon is to be Machshir, like the way we just presented. But the Ramah holds like the day Shniya and says the Shlishi B'Rishon Pasul. Kedemuchim Parakei Shlochlin, the Rabbeinu Tam says there's a later Gemara, the Shalach le Rab Abel Rav Yosef Bar Chama Halachi Shlisha B'Sheni Kosher, that he sent him that what? By the way, Shlisha B'Sheni Kosher. Umashma, why is he telling him Shlishi B'Sheni is kosher? Mashma, that what? The implication is that what? Shlishi B'Rishon is puzzle. So even though you have that initial Gemara in Kuf Chav Chesam and Aleph that said it's kosher, but there's a later Gemara of Rab Abba Bar Yosef that sent to Rab Chama that he's puzzle. So therefore, we're going to go with that. Va'omer Hasam, Tahachi Hilchasa. Good. And the Gemara says there Hilchasa, so therefore a Rishon B'Shlishi should be puzzle. But listen, he brings a raya from the Yerushalmi. Ubi Yerushalmi Nami Amrina. Moshe Mahu Lahoyed Be'eshes Pinchas. This is Geshmak. Can Moshe be made for Eshes Pinchas? Who's Eshes Pinchas? Pinchas is the grandson of Aaron. So that's my great nephew. And Eshes Pinchas is my great nephew, is like him because it's Balki Ishto Gegufo, right? So you see the Yerushalmi held, the premise of the Yerushalmi was Rishon B'Shlishi is possible. Vam Rabbi Yochanan kosher. And Rabbi Yochanan says kosher. Umi dinokat Eshes Pinchas, but the Yerushalmi only asked the kasha by Eshes Pinchas. Mashma de Pinchas himself lo yoyed. Why? The Havalei Shlisha B'Rishon. V'hadulei Amrinan Isha Kabayla Kihacha B'Eshes Chargo. Why don't we say what we usually say? Isha Kabayla, like the Gemara is about to say. So the Gemara says no. Mishum de Ispalig Dara. So you have a chiddush over here. Says the Rabbeinu Tam, even I, who am machmir by a Shlisha B'Rishon, I'm not machmir to the extent that now you're going to say Ishto Kegufo also on a Shlisha B'Rishon, because we do accept that it is a little bit distant. So therefore, in terms of Shlisha B'Rishon, so it's Machlokes Rabbeinu Tam and the other Rishonim, and it's 2 days in Shulchan Aruch, we are Choshesh La'alacha like the Rabbeinu Tam. But the Shulchan Aruch says beferish that we're not going to go to the extent further than the Rabbeinu Tam himself said, and therefore, in terms of his wife, we're going to allow you to be made about his wife, or a husband is allowed to be made because that's already a sparig dara, that's already too distant. So Rishon B'Shlishi is a machlokes Rishonim, great uncle is a machlokes Rishonim, but a great nephew through a wife, through a girl, would be kosher according to everyone. Now Rabbi say, this is hafladik. Okay? People want to understand why I kissed the Meshech Chochmah with the kids. Now you understand why I kissed the Meshech Chochmah with the kids. This is unbelievable. Okay? This is a Meshech Chochmah. Uh-oh. We only have one? Oh, you have two. Oh, back of the Babasa. Okay, Geshmak. Beautiful. Okay, this is a Meshech Chochmah and Baal Loscha. So let's just remember what Baal Loscha is about. Baal Loscha has a lot of things about it. There's a whole essay of Rav Soloveitchik trying to just figure out what the theme of Parshas Baal Loscha is about. So many different things going on in Baal Loscha. So before the Rav Soloveitchik had this theory, Meshech Chochmah had his own theory. So one of the items in Parshas Baal Loscha is The fact that Esfel Yishivimish, the creation of the Sanhedrin, that's one of the items in Baal Oscha. The other one, another story in Baal Oscha, is the story with Aaron and Miriam and Moshe Rabbeinu, speaking about Moshe Rabbeinu with his wife and Tzipora, and that's a story in Sanhedrin. Good. That's the background. Let's see a Meshech Chachma. But you could only really appreciate the Meshech Chachma if you actually go through the sugya like the Meshech Chachma did, and now Imamish, it's unbelievable. Hemshech HaParshias, Yitochi. Mishum de Pligi, one also matter of background. Let's just remember before we start this, our Mishnahs. Our Mishnah said that if you divorce a relative, if you were once related to a relative, but now I'm no longer related to a relative, so the Tanakama said, oh, then you're good. Once they sever the relationship, you sever the ties, so then you're okay. Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that what? As long as you have children from that relationship, there is a residual relationship. Let's see the Mishnah over here on Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, afilu meisa bito v'yesh lo bana mimeno harei zeh karov. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, even afterwards, even after death, if there's a son, that could still be related. Good. Listen to the Meshach. Hemshech HaParshias Yitochi. Shem de Pligi Rabbi Yehuda v'Rabban. In the beginning of Masechus Sanhedrin, Rabbi said that we learned, a long time ago, mamish the beginning of the Masechta, Im Sanhedrin Gedolah b'shivim or b'shivim ve'echad. There's a machlekes Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan if Moshe Rabbeinu was counted within the Sanhedrin of the 70, so therefore, is that 71 or is it 70? Machlekes Tanoim, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan. Upligi and Moshe haya b'chlal Sanhedrin olo. They argue whether Moshe was included in the number. Umapik Rabbi Yehuda mipshatam yuyun sham the mishani al kulu cry. Okay, v'yitachin. Listen to what the Meshach Chachma says. Shem the mitzvah Sanhedrin amru b'sifri gabi zakim amri d'chsiv ubasa el hakoyanim alavim ve'el hashofet. When the Torah says to go to the Beis Din, so the Torah says in Parsha Shoftim you should come to the Kohanim and the Levim, which means the Sanhedrin was filled with who primarily? Kohanim and Levim. To you Kohanim and Levim. V'chein pasuk aram Sanhedrin gdolo de b'lishkas hagazis t'chsiv ba v'kamta v'alisa v'chein asa Yehoshaphat divrei hayamim yuin sham that the Sanhedrin was filled with Kohanim and Levim. Im kein b'Sanhedrin shel Moshe mi haya koyin im Aaron uvanov hala Moshe hayalam rishon b'sheni. Can't be. Moshe was a rishon b'sheni to them. So how do you mekayim the psukim of v'kamta v'alisa of the Kohanim and Levim and rishon b'sheni ukrovim psulim? That's not debated, Rabbi said. That Rishon B'Sheni, everyone agrees the apostle. That's not even in our sugya. So who was it? It was Pinchas. Ushlishi B'Rishon kosher. So Meshech Chachma is saying what? Shlishi B'Rishon is kosher, like the Pashtus against the Rabbeinu Tam. V'haya Moshe imo Shlishi B'Rishon. Pinchas is the grandson of Aaron, his great nephew. Good, Shlishi B'Rishon is kosher. V'kaimel on the kosher. But the Tomim, Rabbi said, what are you going to do with the Yerushalmi that Taisus quoted? So the Tomim said, Aval Tomim simin lam gimel sifkan gimel var divrei Yerushalmi Moshe ma'u sheyoid le'eshes Pinchas. So what did Rabbeinu Tam said? Why did the Gemara Yerushalmi ask specifically about Eshes Pinchas and not Pinchas himself? Is a riot to my shita that Rishon B'Shlishi, a great nephew, is Pasul. Says the Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz a different pshat in Yerushalmi because the Meshech Chachma needs a new pshat in Yerushalmi. Moshe Ma'osh Yad Leishes Pinchas. The Moshe Pinchas Rabbi Say, where do we have to go? We have to go to another parsha. What parsha do we have to go to? I just blanked. What parsha is this? Pitpeit Ba'agolim Pinchas. Pinchas. Right after the kanos of Pinchas, so people were making fun of him that he's what? He's Ben Pita Mefatim Agolim. He's the Ben of an Avodah Zara, of an Avodah Zara. Who is that? The Imoy Shel Pinchas, Zakt Rashi, Haya Mibnois Pituel. She was the daughters of Yisro. Im Kain, what? Who's the daughter of Yisro? That's what? That's Moshe Rabbeinu's sister-in-law. Oh, Givaldik. V'hoisa achos tzipoira. Ishto. V'im Kain, Haya La Pinchas, Rishon B'Sheni, B'chad Balki Ishto. So what? Pinchas is not a Rishon B'Shlishi, Zok the crazy Uplesi. Pinchas is a what? Is a Rishon B'Sheni with one Moshe, through Moshe's wife, through Tzipora, with one Balki Ishto. Rishon B'Sheni with one Balki Ishto. Many Rishonim paskin is puzzle. Vayapsula mitzad karva. Amnam kaven the marlo. Rabbi say, listen, it's not over. Amnam kaven the marloi va'ata poimodi. Rabbi say, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? You divorce your wife. You're no longer married to Tzipayra Ata Poimodi. You stay with the Eibishter. Haviki'ilu nisgarshiv nisrachka mimenu. And therefore they're not related anymore. Umutter lahoy likrovosea. And therefore he's allowed to be made to the Krovim. Omno. But Rabbi Yehuda Savar, Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah on Chav Zayin Amud Beis says, Dim hayaloi bonim, even if the ties are severed, and there's bonim imena, michsheve keilu em kroivim achshav. So it's still considered like the kurva is kayam. Ukemoy da amr demar ukva pasal lebnei chamav, af shemesa ishto, vim kain, if so says the Meshech Chochmah, adayin pasal lahoyed lepinchas. So then, you're right, you divorced your wife, but so what? You still have children. Pinchas is the children, so you're, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're puzzle. L'chein Amar Rabbi Yehuda, so therefore what did Rabbi Yehuda say? De'eno bichlal shivim. Rabbi Yehuda held Sanhedrin is 70 without Moshe Rabbeinu, because otherwise he would be puzzle to the other people in the Sanhedrin. So it's hafladik. It's not over. It's continuing. Ulefum hahalocha, the Moshe haya bichlal Sanhedrin, but according to the way we paskin, shivim ve'echad, like the Rabbanan, and Moshe is included in the Sanhedrin. Eichi tochim, the kevin the Pinchas haya imayim. How's it possible? The sun's around. The answer is what? We don't paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. Tzarech lomer de pirish meishto, v'hi kegrusha, and they got divorced. Now you understand the next parsha. Right after Esfali Shivamish is the Lashon Hara of Miriam about Moshe Rabbeinu divorcing his wife. Because the only way he could be part of the Sanhedrin, and we paskin 71 day on him, is if what? He divorced his wife. And since the Rabbanon, who paskin 71, and also paskin in our Mishnah, that even if there are children from that relationship, it's once it's severed, it's severed. So what's the new hak? What's the new issue? What's the if Moshe Rabbeinu is part of the Sanhedrin, it must be Atapo Imodi. It must be that Moshe Rabbeinu got divorced to who? Tzipora. Zokt Miriam Aaron, you heard what happened? Moshe Rabbeinu got divorced to Tzipora. Next parshin, Parshas Ba'al Loischa. This Bonul Lezeh Aaron and Miriam Eich Yoshev Moshe b'Sanhedrin. Miriam said to Aaron, I don't understand. Manav Shach. Miriam said, how's he on the Sanhedrin? He's puzzled. This is Karev. It's a fair Shekamar in Sanhedrin. Chav Chesem and Aleph. Zokt Miriam, Elamai, Aaron. You know what? I'll tell you, Shtickle Torah, with a little Lashon Hara at the end. That Moshe Rabbeinu got divorced from his wife Tzipora, which is exactly the next parsha. Spanol Aaron and Miriam, Ech Yoshev Moshe b'Sanhedrin, and Pinchas, the Chakru v'Darshu, and they looked into it. Shapirish Miishta, that he got divorced. Lekach, the next parsha. Batidaber Miriam va'Aaron. That's Meshech Chochmah. That's the Samech. It's just Ein Kamo. It's just Ein Milim. There's just no one like him. It's Hafladik. Gans Shas, the whole entire sugya, the whole year is mamish put into one sugya. Shkaich.